all, and just, I'm sure you've told me this a million times, but just to confirm, are you guys going to be building this content mostly from scratch, right? Because you're taking it from different areas?
Yeah.
Cool. So I can show you guys how to go ahead and create those pages of content. We call those articles, and how to create those as menu items. And then I'm also going to go ahead and show you guys how to update these different areas on your site as well. So these different paragraphs that we have of info on your home page, these are all called widgets. So widgets allow your website to be responsive. So if somebody's on a cell phone, they still have the ability, so if this was on a cell phone, it would just stack like this. They still have the ability to use all of these pieces of, or these widgets, I should say. One thing that I'm noticing that I want to point out, this is what your picture is going to look like on a cell phone. I recently discovered some of my associations don't love the way that this would end up looking. If you're not happy with this, we can make it so that once the site goes down to a certain size, the image just disappears. Would you rather that happen, or are you fine with how it looks now?
I think that's the way to go. Just have that hand image disappear.
Okay, I will let CRL image, hero image disappear. Okay. I can definitely have us go ahead and do that. Cool beans. Do what? Was there another question?
Yeah, ask Sue. Sue, do you agree?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I mean, I think if people are always going to look at it on a tablet and it would only see the hand occasionally, it might be okay. But you don't know. I think because it does look kind of weird by itself.
And
yeah.
Is it, Adrian, is it tablets too, or just cell phones when it's real small?
It depends on the size of the screen of the tablet, from what I understand. You can I mean, well, I shouldn't even say that. Any amount smaller is just cutting out of the picture. So I would imagine that on any tablet, yeah, it's going to cut down, even if it looks like that, right? It's still going to look a little silly.
Yeah.
So once that happens, then we can make it so that whole image goes away. So yeah, so we're going to go ahead and I can also teach you guys how to change this hero image if you want to. You have the ability to do that. Add upcoming events to your calendar. Add your sponsors. Add your so much more podcast info or text. I think that this was supposed to be an RSS feed. Have you sent me the link for that RSS feed yet?
No, I haven't signed the contract with her yet. That's coming next week.
Awesome. Whenever that's done, you can send me that link and we'll be able to link that to the RSS feed. So it'll just be pulling in that text or the content. So let's go ahead and jump in the back end. The first thing I want to show you guys is how to update these main pages of text on the home page. Like I mentioned, these are widgets.
Okay.
So,
hey, can you hang on 1 second? Sue?
Yes.
Could
Yeah.
you keep a task list and get the RSS, is it RSS feed?
That's exactly right.
Get the RSS feed from Seal. Would you mind keeping a task list?
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to the back end of our site, and we're really just going to be working under the website tab today. The first place that I want to go is widgets. So under our widgets tab, that's a sub menu there. A couple different items that we can change. I'm just going to start from the top and work our way through each one. Now, when your members log into your website, they're actually going to be brought to a member landing page. That member landing page is going to greet them with personal information from their profile. So it feels a little bit more personal when they're in the site. Traditionally, this back here is supposed to be like the lapel of a pinstripe suit. We can change this image. So if you guys aren't crazy about the image back here, we can make it a solid color. You guys can give us an image that you want us to update it to. We also have the ability to either get rid of this name tag. Most of my associations really love it, and I do agree that I think it creates a personal kind of page to be greeted with. So this is going to data merge in your members' information from their profile.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
And you see how our logo is essentially 3 library cards?
Mm-hmm.
Could we take the library card and make it instead of that "Hello, my name is" image?
You sure could.
Yeah. So Can you send us like the pixel dimensions of what you need? And are they two separate images? Is the name tag a separate image from the suit, or is it all one image?
It's all one image.
Okay.
And so let me find out those dimensions. My designer's told me about a million times, but I always forget. Send dimensions for my name is image. Yeah, and what you guys can do is supply us the image. Now, just keep in mind when you're creating that image, the merged data is only able to kind of format itself into the name tag area. Like it can only be on the right-hand side of the image. We haven't created this so that we can put it anywhere on the image.
Yep.
So I'm trying to think of an example that I might be able to show you. I'll have to.
That's okay. This
Okay.
I understand. I do have one question though. This is one image, right? We can't have it different. Like we have different colors for different membership levels. But this would have to just be a generic one that every sign-in would use. Am I right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Okay.
That wouldn't be able to be specific per member type, but you do have the ability to data merge in. So like this can data merge in their member type. But if you are wanting to change that or any of these data merge fields, you can just come to the bottom of your screen, select the merge data field, and you can choose any of the fields from their profile.
Oh, great. Love it.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. So that's everything on that that member landing. My name is image. So we're going to go ahead and save that. The next widget that we can look at, we've got your sponsor slider images. So I can go ahead and dive into the sponsor slider images. This is going to be pulling into this contributing member widget.
Great.
So to add your images, notice they do need to be 220 by 220. A lot of times the mistake that my associations make is maybe they have an image that is like 220 by 90. You would want to stick that inside a white box that's 220 by 220. Otherwise, it's going to throw off the rotations and just kind of create lots of kinks in the long run. So overall, the entire image, even if it's just a white space surrounding the logo, needs to be 220 by 220.
And do you know JPEG or PNG?
Either one is totally fine.
Okay.
When you're adding these into this editor, it's really, really, really simple. I'm going to show you guys your media manager in just a moment. That's like an in-house file store that we have to our system. And so you'll want to save all of your logos in your media manager. And then to add in the images that you've saved in there, we're going to place our cursor right back to back with the last image that was inserted in the editor. We're going to come to the bottom and select our image, kind of like a little button down here. And this is going to bring up a pop-up, and this would give us access. It's called like our mini media manager. So we can access any of your folders that you have in here. Once again, I'm going to show you guys where you can access this in just a moment to save images. We can go right into our images folder. We don't have any in here right now. Here we go. I could like grab your hero image or your logo. We would just insert. Now, of course, this is too big. But you would just, kind of my point in saying this is anytime you get ready to add a new logo, you want to make sure your cursor is right back to back with that last image. No spaces, you don't want to enter down or anything like that. And that'll allow you to change these logos at any time.
Okay.
Any questions on that?
No, I'm good, Sue.
Yeah, I'm good. I just want to confirm one thing though. Adrian, you said you're recording, right?
I sure am.
I have access to that too. You know, frantically, that's the way I do it. So I just want to make sure I'm going to be able to come back to this.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close out of this widget. All right, we've got homepage main, homepage left, and homepage right. So to show you guys where these areas are reflecting, we've got our homepage main, our homepage left, and our homepage right. So if you guys wanted to update any of these three areas of text, it's just as easy as going into one of these three widgets and then editing the text in this area. Okay, so those are pretty simple. Any questions on that? We are going to go extensively into how to use our editor in just a bit. I just wanted to show you guys where that text would be changed and reflected.
Okay, I do have a question, and we can save it for later if you want, but we do want on the home page, at least initially, the breakdown of the 3 membership levels. So is it possible to create something that's 3 columns, or are we limited to like the 2?
You could have, we wouldn't be able to add a 3rd column. We could add 2 columns, like 2 additional widgets underneath these 2, so we could basically kind of mirror those. What I would probably recommend more so doing is
An image, maybe 1 image that's through the 3.
You could do that. You could definitely do that. You could also use our separator. So you could say, let me go back to homepage left.
Okay.
You could say, like you could talk about 1 member type here, and then basically what you could do, in the space down, we have our kind of like a separator. You could do the next member type, separator. You could do your 3rd member type. So then that would end up looking like kind of something like this, maybe is what you're thinking.
Yeah, it really, so it's, I mean, I could do it by an image, but it's important to us to be able to like compare the different levels and what they're getting. And so I saw on a couple of the other sample sites where, like for instance, if you're buying software, you know how they'll pull up the basic level or the free level and the next level and then the premium level, and you can kind of features of each. I think I saw that on one of the other sites, but certainly we'll work around if because I don't want it horizontal. You know, next it would be lining up vertically so that the.
Gotcha. I'll double check and just make sure we can't add a 3rd column, but I think that would have been, you might have seen an example from like maybe one of our old, I think the site, I'm at a loss for words today. I don't know where my words are. I apologize. I think you might have been looking at the example site, and so I don't think that we offer that anymore. I will double check though, just in case. Okay.
Yep. Because I mean, I can definitely do it by an image if we need to do it that way, but would prefer it to kind of be built in so it's searchable, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll see if we can do that for you guys. Cool. Any other questions on this?
No, but if you're asking about that, if you use the drafts layout that I sent over, that it was just a PDF, you could probably see what I'm talking about. You can see if there's a way to do it that way.
Let me peek at it and see if he said anything in regards to that, because I sent that along to him. He didn't mention it.
Or if there's a way to insert a table, you know, that might be, maybe it stays the same width, but there's a table feature.
So we can add tables, but I would typically not recommend adding tables. And the reason why is because they are not responsive. So if somebody gets on your site on a cell phone and obviously the page is going to be smaller, tables aren't going to move down to that same size. You're going to have to end up scrolling, and it really makes for a pretty poor user experience.
Do you know, I'm sorry, Adrian, would the same issue happen if we were to use the image to get the horizontal, that the image wouldn't fit on a responsive design?
No, you wouldn't. So the image would not have the same issue.
So the image,
tables.
except for that big image that we use, the other images scale with the size of the device.
Yes, exactly. Okay. The rest of the images will scale. That's exactly right.
Okay, but I guess the readability, like the font, if it's an image, the font size goes down when the image gets smaller. Whereas if it's built in as far as the text code,
you wouldn't have that same problem. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that should be something that we figure out. You know, if you can let us know if it's possible to do it anyway other than an image.
Yeah, absolutely. I will definitely let you guys know if we can sneak in a 3rd column there. Awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and head to our, we've got hero content. So you guys do have the ability to have content across your image. This content is responsive. And we won't have anything right now because you don't have any, but just to show you example content.
Oh, like coming November 27th or something like that.
Yeah, and you guys also can add buttons in this area.
Okay.
So this doesn't necessarily work for you guys unless, I mean, maybe not white, maybe if we did black text, but just to show you where that would reflect.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, and then if the hero image doesn't show up on a cell phone, will that at least?
It'll go away as well.
Okay.
If we hide the image, the hero image, this text will also disappear with the image.
All right. Well, are there any other workarounds to that then? Because is there something wrong with the hero image that that's of how we set it up?
No, it's intentional for our it's intentional for the design. So I just mentioned this because typically okay, let's see if I can show you a hero. I'm thinking if I could show you here image. Typically, oh, so like if you didn't want the image to disappear, something that you could do is add these logos into the hero content. And so that way they are going to change with the size of the image. They are going to be that the hero content is responsive, so that is going to change with the website. So typically, if you have text in the hero image, you would want it to be in the hero content. Because you guys kind of have this main focus of a hand, that means you're going to have a bunch of logos on top of a hand, which might also still look kind of funny. So, so I would probably recommend just not using the hero content, leaving the image as is, and then having the image kind of like what we were talking about disappear when you're on a cell phone or on a tablet, something that's going to have a smaller screen to it. We did create the hero image this way intentionally. This is the best way for us to do this. We've tried to change. I had one client who really wanted us to change the CSS so that the hero image would become, like it would scale down as well, like just become smaller. And it's just not something we can incorporate with our template.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Yeah, I know it's because we definitely need to make sure that I mean, most of our users are using things on the cell phone now anyway.
Well, exactly. I think most people are using that anyway. So exactly. So that's why I had that thought when I was looking at your image that we might want it to disappear versus having a zoomed in hand. I had somebody who gave me an image, y'all, and it was a group of people. I think it was like a math class, and it was a group of people all in this math class. And on a cell phone, sure enough, and we didn't realize until after they had launched, so it was kind of funny. Luckily, they had a sense of humor about it. It zoomed in on this one guy's eyeball, and it was just like staring at you on the cell phone. She was like, somebody brought this to my attention, and it is really, really creepy. We're going to have to change this. So,
could there be, like, for instance, if the header bar was, and I know this isn't the Marietta template, but if it was one of those flash ones where it's a slideshow in the header bar, how do those work? Do those shrink down?
I want to say I had one and we changed it, and I don't remember if we changed it to show up or to not show up. That would be an example, would be Vinings. Who do I have using Vinings? I just want to look really quickly and see.
Okay.
Vinings would be a good example. Maybe I don't think theirs is up yet. NOPA. So this is not Vinings. So it does go away as well. So it changes to a certain size. So it may still show up on tablets, but on a cell phone, it would definitely just disappear altogether.
All right, that'll be fine. We'll just put anything that will be important enough that we need to make sure we won't put it as what do you call it? The hero text.
Content. Yeah, the hero content. Okay. Okay. Keep rocking. All right, footer info. This one's pretty straightforward. This is just going to affect. Let's get rid of that.
So hero content disappears on small devices. That's what we need to know. Okay.
It doesn't traditionally, but because we're having your hero image disappear, the content's going to disappear as well.
Yeah, hero image content. Okay, and content because of it. Yeah. Okay, good.
All right. Footer info is going to be this information right down here at the bottom.
Okay.
So if you wanted to update that, you could go into that footer info and you could update this area of text.
And this is all within widgets.
Yes, we are still under website and widgets, exactly.
Okay.
All right, lastly, we've got custom login page content lower half and top half. So I would say that most of my associations do not touch this. Basically, when your members get ready to log in, they're going to be brought to a page that looks like this. You have the ability to add text above this area or below this area. So I've had some associations who've added, not a member, join today and become a member of our association. And then they'll have a link to the membership application. That's one way that you could use it. But I would say traditionally they just leave it as is and they don't add any text to this page. Any questions on that?
No.
Okay, awesome. And so that would be custom login page content lower half. Of course, I would be adding text below the login section. Top half would be adding text above the login section. And that is everything on our widgets. Any questions on any of these widgets before we keep moving forward?
No? How about you, Sue?
Not yet.
Awesome. Perfect. So let's go ahead and jump to our website and media manager. So this is that in-house file store that I mentioned a moment ago. So this is called our media manager. This is where you're going to save all of your images or documents into that you would want to use in a widget or in an article of our site. So you can never copy and paste an image into an article or a widget. Instead, you'll always need to save it in the media manager and then you can pull it in. You have the ability to create additional folders within your media manager. So you may want some extra organizations. You might want to call this like sponsor logos.
Yeah.
And I'm going to create that folder. So now you've created a subfolder. You guys can create as many subfolders as you would like. The only thing that we would ask is you do not delete. You could create subfolders of these, but do not delete the site folder. That's what's pulling in your logo and your hero image. Mm-hmm. So one really cool thing about this is if you want to change your hero image, any image that you put into this folder that's called hero.jpg will become the hero image.
Okay.
So that's how you guys can change that. I would recommend when you do that, so first you'll delete out the existing hero image. I would clear your cache before you upload the new one. And then sometimes it can take about 10 minutes for that change to reflect. Sometimes it's instant, but sometimes it can take about 10 minutes. Usually clearing your cache in between uploading the new item will eliminate that wait time. Okay. To add an image or a document, you would just dive into that folder that you want to add the item to. Use your upload button at the bottom. You have a max of 25, so I've never had an issue with a client running out of space. There's tons of room in here. I'm going to go ahead and add our Go Live checklist. So I can go ahead. I'm going to select the folder for my computer. We're going to open that image, and it's going to just save it right into this folder for us. Any questions on the Media Manager?
No. Can we go ahead and delete that subfolder?
Yes.
Just since there's already a sponsor logo.
This one here?
Yeah. Okay, great. But we won't ever delete or move around the 4, just create subfolders.
Yeah, that would be my advice.
Got it.
And if you forget the size that you need for the sponsor logos, they're always going to be right in here for you. So you can always take a look at that. All right. Any other questions on this?
I'm good, Sue?
Yeah, I'm good.
Awesome. All right. Let's go ahead and I'm going to go back on our website. Let's go ahead and create an article together, and then we'll go through the process of linking that article up to your menus. Now, you'll always need to create the article first. If the article is not created and you try to create the menu item first, you're not going to have anything to link up to the menu item. So that process doesn't make sense. So you'll always want to create the article so you have something to link to the menu item that you want to create. Does that make sense?
Yeah, articles first.
I'm going to go ahead and go to website and articles. And I'm just going to create a new article with you guys. Now, any of the articles that are already in the system, we would have created right down here at the bottom. I don't know what this CRL is. Oh, perfect. Oh, we did this together. I remember that now. So we created this test article. If we'd had this linked up, we could have edited right in this article, and we would have been able to, of course, see that reflect on the front end, any of those changes that we created together. So to edit any of the articles you have created, you would just select the article. That's going to take you into the editor, and you can start editing right inside of here. We're going to go ahead and create a new article together. So to do that, we're going to use our icons up here in the top right-hand corner. The icons, you'll be using most frequently. New, of course, is going to create that new article. Publish or unpublish. This is going to, of course, publish or unpublish the article. You would just want to tag the article that you want to unpublish or publish and use these icons at the top. An easier way, you can also just double click on the red unpublished or double click on the green published to do the same thing.
Okay.
You can move your articles to the trash. You can view your trash. And if you didn't mean to delete something, you can always restore an article. We're going to go ahead and select new to create that new article together. For our example, I'm just going to call this members only. So maybe this is an article of members only content. When we've created that title, you'll notice the alias auto-populates. The alias is what creates the back end of the URL for this particular article. So if we went to crl.memberclicks.net/members-only, that would take us directly to this page of content.
Okay.
Now, most of the items that you'll see in here probably look really familiar: bolding, italicizing, underlining, your strike-throughs, different alignments. You can also change the font family. You can change the font size. You can change the color of your font or the highlighter of your font. My suggestion is not to use any of those items, but instead we have some formatted fonts in here that you can use. The reason I would suggest using these is two reasons. One, consistency throughout your site, but number two, if you guys go through rebranding, or if you want to liven your site, maybe if you want to make some edits to your site, give it a fresh new look, you can let us know what new colors you want to use in the site. We'll update these headings for you, and it's going to automatically update on all of your articles. So you're not going to have to go through every page of content and make those edits. Mm-hmm. Instead, it's just going to automatically happen for you. So I would always suggest using your formatted fonts. If you don't like the formatted fonts we've created for you right now, you can just once again let us know, and we can change the colors that we're using for either heading 1 or heading 2.
Okay.
Something else that's a little bit unique to MemberClicks, bringing in that image. So similar to when we brought it in for this, the logo slideshow, I'm going to come to the bottom of the editor once again and use that image button. When we select this, it's going to bring in that mini media manager. Mm-hmm. We can use your folders. Maybe I'm going to grab your sponsor slideshow image. Once we've selected the image, we're just going to select insert this image. Now, we may not love the relationship between the text and the image, the size of the image. If we wanted to change the appearance of the image, we would just select that image by clicking on it. And you'll notice the second that I did that, there's a little tree icon up here that's highlighted now as well. I can use that tree icon. We want to go to the appearance tab because we're changing the appearance of our image. And we've got a couple of different items in here that we can play with. Now, if you forget what I'm talking about, you have an example over here that's going to show you exactly what you're doing, exactly how you're affecting the text and image. The first item we have is the alignment. This is going to change how the text aligns with the image. The dimensions, this is going to change the size of the image. As long as we keep our constraint proportions box checked, it's going to fill in that second dimension for us without us having to guess what it needs to be to keep their proportions.
Okay.
Our vertical space and horizontal space is going to create a space cushion between the text and the image. This is all measured in pixels. So notice now we've got those spaces between the text and image, so it's not backing right up to one another. Mm-hmm. A border is just going to add a really simple black border. We cannot change the color of the border. And then at that time, we're going to update. And now we have a smaller image. It's been pushed to the left. The text is wrapping top to bottom because we chose the alignment of the left. We have the border, and we've got that space between our text and image as well. Any questions on how we did that?
No, I see this is going to be similar to Lucid Press.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's nice to kind of get in the hang of it.
Awesome. We've based our editor off Joomla, so if you have any Joomla experience, it should all feel pretty similar.
I have no idea what that is, but
that's okay. It's probably what the other site used as well, so it's probably very similar. Awesome. Cool. So the next couple items that I wanted to talk about is how we would add internal or external links. And so in order to do that, we first want to select our text. So we're going to do one for internal links, one for external links. When we're ready to link up something, we're going to highlight the text we're wanting to link. For an external link, we're coming to the top of our editor and choosing this little tiny link up here.
Here, I'll give you a new one. We just published a new store today.
Awesome. So what, do you have the link in front of you?
Yep, it's Workroom Market. Oh, it's an workroommarketplace.com. You know what? We might have to. I'm not sure what the HTTP.
I can copy and paste it.
Let's see.
Oh, nice. Is this it?
Yep.
Cool beans. There we go. Good time to try. And we'll just paste it right in here. Now, a little tip, whenever you're linking to an external link, my suggestion would be to have this open in a new window. That way your members or non-members can still be navigating your site and also have that external link up in a different window, but they're not being navigated away from your site, if that makes sense.
Yes.
We would insert. Now, same for internal links. This time we're coming to the bottom of our editor and we're choosing the Site Links button. So for external links, we're using the little link at the top. For internal links, we're using our Site Links button at the bottom of the editor. This is going to once again bring up kind of a mini media manager, but this time we can choose from any existing articles, any existing community features, any existing menu items, any forms, any files. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to select your event calendar and we're just going to insert this link. Now, to look super fancy, anytime you've linked up an item, whether it's internal or external, if you go back and highlight that text, then use those formatted fonts again, I'm going to choose heading 6. We've created a button. How fun is that?
Yeah. And
so that's how
the name, instead of it saying external links, you could say shop now or something.
Yeah, exactly. You could, exactly. Whatever text that you've linked up would appear inside of this button.
You mean any okay, so let's go ahead. Let's take the external links one. Let's make it a button. And then how do I make that say shop now?
You would just say shop now. Whoops. Shop now. We're going to highlight our text. Add that link. Going to have it open. Whoops. Open in a new window. I'm going to insert, re-highlight, and add heading 6.
Great. So heading 6 is a button.
That is what creates the button. As long as you've got something linked up, that's exactly right.
Okay. How would we know? Like, can you scroll that box down? Like it seems the text box, the choices, yeah. That.
Yes, we can just add spaces between them.
Oh, no, I mean, like, how would we know that heading 6 was a button? That's not obvious to me. Like from the drag down box.
Yeah, because that's just part of what I teach you.
Okay. So, all right. So we'll go through and play around and figure out what each of those means. 8, 6.
Yeah, the only special ones is heading 6, which creates the button. The rest of these are going to look the same, like just as they appear.
Got it. Okay.
except for you would have noticed when I added the hero content in that area, I used heading 3. That made the text white.
Okay.
So you can use heading 3 in the hero content, but if you're not using the hero content, that really doesn't matter. If we were just using it,
and where are the, like, these global settings for those? We reach out to you for those?
exactly.
And is there like a key somewhere?
As to what each heading means?
Yeah.
No, I mean, the only one that you guys need to know is heading 6 is the button.
Yeah, the other ones just are smaller fonts and.
Right. So like this was what I just created was heading 3. Heading 4 is going to look just like how you see it.
Got it.
It's just smaller. Heading 5 is the same thing. They're just a little bit smaller, each one. And then the ones above that, it's the same thing as well. They look just as they appear.
Okay.
Adrienne, on the formatting on that button, the color and whatnot, is that something that your developer did? Because it does look like one of our colors, or is that something that can be, because I mean, we probably want those to be consistent, but does it have to be that color?
So we can change the color of the buttons, but whatever color you guys would want would be consistent throughout the site. So we wouldn't be able to make it like one button turns green, one button turns blue, one button turns purple. They would all have to be the same, whatever color you guys selected. And we could change that. You would just let us know what color you'd want them to be. Same with hyperlinked text. So if you wanted hyperlinks to be a specific color, right now they're also this yellow color. Like if I took off heading 6, you'll notice that it's just that yellow color. We can make that hyperlinked text color whatever you wanted as well.
Okay. All right. So we'll basically we'll just go through those standard things, and if we have any we want to change, we just send that to you, right? Just email you.
Exactly. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Okay. I like the yellow button, but we'll probably do something with the purple for the hyperlinks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Great.
Awesome. Okay. Couple of other things that I like to point out in here. If you guys are handy with HTML, we do have an HTML editor.
Oh, no, we won't touch that.
So I'm not an HTML coder at all, but sometimes I go in there just if I need to fix something.
You do, Sue. Oh, good for you. Liz actually is pretty darn familiar. When she was a kid, she used to build fan websites for her baseball players.
Oh, very, very cool. Yeah, sometimes you can dive in here and figure out what's what a little bit. Sometimes I've picked up a little bit. It's not as scary as it seems, but I like to stay out of there. So if you're like me, you can keep your hands out of that and just use the editor. One thing I wanted to mention, so like I would traditionally ask you guys to not copy and paste in our editors. The reason why is because when you copy and paste, you're bringing over messy HTML. So you might not be able to see the weird formatting on the back end until you paste it into our editor, and then they might not get along.
Okay, hang on 1 second. Sue, that's exactly what I was talking about this morning. So she's probably going to show us what we can do. Okay. Okay.
So if you do want it to copy and paste, and I can tell you guys right now, I would say 100% of my associations copy and paste in these editors, and they just do it because it's easy. I don't blame them. And so sometimes you'll just start to notice some kind of weird quirks, like it's double spacing and you don't want it to, and it's going to drive you nuts. And it's just because there's messy HTML back here. If that ever happens, I've got some tips and tricks that can help you guys work around that. And since you guys are building all of this from scratch, you may notice that starts to happen. I can help you guys work through some of that. However, if you're on a PC or a Mac, you guys should have something called Notepad or Text Edit. I have a Mac and I use a free app called Sublime, Sublime.
Okay, we're all on Mac, so Sublime?
Yes, it looks like, let's see if I can get my bar to come up over here. Oh, where did I? Not iTunes. It looks like, come back. It's Let me see if I can just bring it up this way. Sublime, sublime, what did I do? Here we go. It ends up looking like this. Basically, you'll just, and then this is perfect. This is what the application looks like. You can just copy and paste right in here. It's going to remove all of your formatting for you. Then you just come back, copy it, and then at this point I could paste it in the editor. It's just stripping all of that behind the scenes formatting. So that would be the most efficient way for you to copy and paste text into our editor. And that's kind of across the board for any editor that you use.
Okay, that's great. We actually needed that for Lucid Press too. A question I have though, are you stripping it and it's staying in text form, or is it going into HTML code?
This is still text form, it's just stripping it.
Okay, so yours had all those dashes and stuff in it. That's not HTML code I'm looking at.
No, I can take this members only.
There we go. Okay.
I can paste it right in here. And it's just,
okay.
And then when we get ready,
and then
I'll just let me paste it right back in.
Okay. So we're better. We don't drag anything directly into these windows. We put it through Sublime.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And like I said, if you forget, sometimes it's never going to give you trouble and you're never going to have a problem with it, but sometimes it'll just start doing little annoyances and you won't realize that that's what it's from. Mm-hmm. Like I said, the double spacing, but I've also kind of come up with some workarounds because I know that everybody copies and pastes in these things, especially if you have like a whole page of content that you're wanting to bring over. So anyways, so I'm sure as you guys are building, you're going to come across some questions, and I'll be able to help you work through some of those, and some of them might be due to messy HTML, but we can talk about that when we get there.
Okay.
I just have about 10 minutes left, so I want to get through creating a menu item with you guys. And so once we've created of course, we can also back button, forward button. So if we wanted to go back or go forward, undo or redo, we can use these buttons, something that's one of my favorite items. And then all of these items through here have to do with tables. As I mentioned, I would suggest never using tables because they're not responsive. So everything on your site's going to look awesome until you've inserted a table. Now all of a sudden the site's not user friendly. So that's why I would recommend sticking away from those. Okay.
Okay.
When we're ready to save our article that we've created, we're going to decide the group access. So who's allowed to see this? If it's only for members, like what we've created, of course, we don't want the prospect or public to see it. Only your members can see it. So we would determine who gets to see these, who has permission to see this. And then at that point, we're going to select save. Now, when we're ready to link this to a menu item, we're going to use our website tab again, and we're going to go to menu items. You have 3 menus. Main menu is this big purple menu across the top. This is your main menu.
Okay.
Social network menu would be any of the icons that'll be located down at the bottom. You just have a Twitter feed right now.
Oh, we just set up a Twitter account. Is that ours?
It is. Look, or is this your personal?
This is it.
Cool.
Yeah.
If you guys have any other social community items like Facebook or whatever else, we can add those icons down here for you as well. The last menu item that you can make changes to is the member menu. We're going to talk more about this at the social community training. For right now, just know that there's going to be a separate member menu. It would be located underneath that name tag image that we looked at earlier. Usually it has items like the member's profile, calendar, things that are really just specific to your members, but you can also put links down there to content that only your members have access to.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and select the main menu. When we get to this page, we're asking ourselves, what menu do we want to make changes to? In this case, for our example, we're going to make changes to the main menu. This is going to, over time, create an outline of your menu structure. It has the same icons that we looked at when we were building our new article, but this time when we select new, we're creating a new menu item. So it may feel like Groundhog Day when you're going through this. It's like, oh, I already did this. But keep in mind, you have to do this one time to create the article and then another time to create the menu item.
Mhm.
I'm
And
just selecting.
a menu item can have only one article?
Only a menu item can only link to one article. Correct.
Okay.
I selected new, so at this point we're creating a new menu item. The items, so at this point we're telling the system what type of menu item we're linking to. You will most commonly be linking to the single article. What we just created together, that example, was a single article. You will never use any of these other items in here. Only single article. You can make direct links to external links. You can link directly to a form. You can link directly to your member's profile, any of our community features. Right now, for example, we're going to link directly to that single article, so I'm selecting single article. We're naming our menu item, so I'm going to name this members only. There's that alias again. We already talked about what that meant.
Mhm.
And our parent item, we're determining where we want this menu item to display. If it needs to appear at the top in that purple bar, we're going to keep top highlighted. If it's going to become a submenu, we can highlight a main menu that's already existing, and it's going to create a submenu of that main menu. I'm just going to make this appear at the very top. Once again, yes, we want to publish. Do we want this to open in a new browser window? It can open in the same, right? Because they're staying within your site. So we don't need it to open in a new window. Who gets to see this? And then lastly, we've told the system, okay, we're creating a menu item. It's linking to a single article. It's called members only. Now we need to say what article is going to pop up when we click on this menu item. So we need to select the article that's going to basically pop up. And we're going to choose that members only because that's what we just created. And at this point, we can save. Now when we go back to your home page, I'm just going to refresh our page. And there's that members only menu item we just created. When we click on it, there's the members only.
Okay.
I know that felt like a lot of steps, but once you go through that process a couple times, it'll start to really make sense and click with you.
Hero image stays. Hero image stays.
We can make it go away if you want it to when they navigate away from the home page.
Yes, I definitely want that because we're not going to want to have that. Yeah, that's only for the home page.
Okay.
Can we make it specific on different, like, could it stay in the about us or something? Which
I can ask. I think it's either it goes away totally when you navigate away from the home page, or it stays on the home page. But I can ask if we can specify.
All right, let's, for now, because I can't think of where I'd want to keep it, let's just have it on the home page.
Okay.
If you wanted it someplace else, Janelle, couldn't we just put that image on that page too, so it renders there?
Yep, very smart.
So another question, with all the working behind the scenes, and then we publish it, is everything always in this production environment, like, or is it like, so as soon as we hit save, it's there for everybody to see? There's not an option to like preview or something before it goes out to world?
If you wanted to preview it, my suggestion would be using your permissions so that only admin could see it, right? So then we could just untag and then only admin.
Okay, yeah, that works. That's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
What other questions do you guys have?
Oh, I don't have any questions. Just we just need to start getting in there and playing around. Well, that's a question. Can we start?
Yeah, you guys, this is your site. Jump in here, start playing around and diving in. I'm going to be following up with my designer to make these changes. One thing we didn't get a chance to go through today was your calendar. I'm going to send you guys an article that's going to go through, and I say article, I know we've been talking about articles, a resource basically that's going to kind of teach you guys how to use the calendar. It's very intuitive. So if you have any questions after looking at the resource material I provide, just let me know. We can go back through it on our next call. Okay.
Great. Well, we can, that can be a task for us to try to set up at least the calendar, and if there's not a few other pages. And with, just so that, so as far as the login to this, how do we get here?
I believe, let me come in here and check.
I think you sent me, let's see.
Here it is. So when I follow up from our kickoff call, I would have sent you this email. I'm just going to copy and paste it. I would love it if you could try, if you want Sue to have admin access, to try to set her up with some admin access. So the way that you would do that is you can just go to your profile list button and you're going to add an individual and then just see if you can work through the process of adding Sue.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
You can do it. Let me know if you get stuck. I'll send you a follow-up email from today. And then we have a call already scheduled for, I think next week on Tuesday. Yep,
Yeah.
at 12 o'clock again. Does that still work for you?
Yep, it does. And Tuesday at 12, yes.
Awesome, awesome. All right, cool beans. Well, let me know if you guys get stuck anywhere. Any last minute questions I can answer for you?
The admin, and we're going to do the calendar at least. That we're going to come with those items.
Yeah, dive into those and see what you can come up with.
Awesome. Thank you.
I have one more question, but I think I know the answer. So when we sent over the site sort of structure with those different tabs across the top, the reason those aren't there is because we don't have the articles behind them. Is that right? Because we have to do that and then we'll create the menu?
Yeah, exactly. If you want, is that how you want your menu structure to look?
Yeah.
It might make sense. Why don't I can go ahead and build out just those menu items, but they're not going to go anywhere because the articles don't exist. So
Okay.
I can go ahead and do that. But what we also could do is, instead of me building the menu to basically going nowhere, if you guys want to go ahead and create all the articles, let me know when you've done that. And then as long as you name the articles the same thing you want the menu items to be called, I can link all of that up for you when they're created. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I actually, after this, I'm feeling pretty comfortable to do either and both. So.
Okay, well, just dive in there, and if you start making the menu items and you're like, I know how to do it, I don't want to do anymore, then you can just tell me and I can pick up where you left off, whatever is best for you guys. But if you want the practice, then dive in. This is all y'all's, okay?
Sounds good.
Awesome. All right, well, I'm going to send your follow-up email once I get this video uploaded, and after that, I just hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you next Tuesday, if not before then, okay?
Thank you. Okay, Sue, I'll call you right after we get off this.
Okay.